Hello everyone, I Assistant Professor Pragati Shetty from Department of Microbiology, KG Somaya College. In this online lecture, we will study about the mode of action of antimicrobial agents, that is antibiotic or any drugs on bacteria, fungi and viruses. Okay. So in this lecture, we will study about the effect on bacteria. Alright, that is the bactericidal and the bacteriostatic drugs. So you can see in this picture only, if you observe carefully, then the bacteriostatic drugs are the one who stop the process, right? Who inhibit the process of the bacterial synthesis. Whereas bactericidal, which means killing, right? So what are they doing? They are killing the cells, and this is the way they will protect us. The antimicrobial agents will protect us from the pathogen by either inhibiting their synthesis process or by killing them. All right, now we will start our lecture with the basic introduction of the cell structure of the bacterial cell. So you can see in this, starting with the cell wall. Okay, the cell wall is present in a yellow color, and outside that orange color that is the capsule. All right, that is the foremost very outer cover, and inside that the primary material of the bacterial assembly is the cell wall. After cell wall, there is a green color line. You can see there is the plasma membrane or the cell membrane. All right, after that we have matrix, cytoplasm. Into that cytoplasm there are ribosomes present and the plasmids are present, plus the DNA, that is our nucleic acid of the bacteria. On the capsule you can see there are these small pili are present, which will help the bacteria for their attachment or any genetic transfer. All right, also we can see the flagella, that is used for locomotion, that is used for movement of that bacterial cell. So this is the general structure of the bacteria. Now we will study in this online lecture the antimicrobial agents that are specific for cell wall, cell membrane, that is the plasma membrane, the DNA synthesis and the bacterial enzyme. So we will study the cell wall inhibitors, cell membrane inhibitors, nucleic acid inhibitors and the enzyme inhibitors. Okay, so we will start our lecture with the cell wall inhibitors. Now you can see, now you know where is the cell wall is present, right? Now the basic role of the cell wall in the bacterial structure is what, that we will see first. So the cell walls of the bacteria are very essential for their protection and for their growth and development. Now this cell wall is composed of the peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan is the heteropolymeric component which provides the bacteria mechanical stability. Okay, because of its structure, because the structure of the peptidoglycan is very stable due to that cross linkages between each other that will produce the lattice structure, and due to this they make the bacteria mechanically stable. They make the structure of the bacteria very stable, and therefore the cell wall plays a very crucial role in the bacterial synthesis, growth and development. Then the peptidoglycan cell wall is composed of glycan chains, which are linear strands of two altering amino acid. Alternate amino acids are present on the structure of the peptidoglycan. Now which are those? The NAG and the NAM, N-acetyl glucosamine and the N-acetyl muramic acid. And both this acid, that is the both sugars, amino sugars, NAG and NAM, this both forms that lattice network as we had discussed in the earlier point, okay, and which produce the cross linkages resulting into the lattice form that will increase or that will stabilize the bacterial mechanical stability. Okay, in gram positive bacteria, the cell wall is 50 to 100 molecules thick, whereas in the gram negative microorganisms or the bacteria, that is only 1 or 2 molecules are present. Okay, so we can say there are more concentration of this peptidoglycan residues in the gram positive microorganism as compared to the gram negative, right? Now we will study one by one the examples of these cell wall inhibitors. Now the first one, we will study little about again the peptidoglycan. Okay, now the peptidoglycan, that is the polysaccharide, okay, which is formed of the NAG and the NAM residues, which will result into the cross linkages, right? Now the peptide cross link formed, the peptide linkages are formed at the third position of the peptide, okay, and the D-alanine in the fourth position of the another chain, and this is how they will link with each other alternately, and they will produce a lattice work, and therefore the more stable, the stability will be very much increased, all right, and therefore it is very very essential bacterial structural growth and the development. Now we will study the cell wall inhibiting antimicrobial agents that will include beta-lactam antibiotics, cycloserine, bacitracin and the tacobactam. We will study one by one, we will study mode of action for each of them. Now first one is the beta-lactam antibiotics. Okay, now how they work or what is their mode. Now the beta-lactam antibiotics will basically inhibit the transpeptidation reaction. This transpeptidation, it is the last stage of product producing or completing the peptidoglycan cell wall. Now what will happen, due to they inhibit the last step of this process of peptidoglycan development, therefore the cell wall will not able to synthesize, right? The peptidoglycan synthesis will be blocked. This will involve a loss of D-alanine from the pentapeptide. And just now we discussed that the linkages that are formed are on the third position and the fourth position of the D-alanine, right? And if the D-alanine only is getting lost, then the linkages will not be formed, and therefore the cell wall will not be formed, the bacterial structural structure they will not develop, they will not remain stable, and that is why it get killed. Okay, so these are about the beta lactam antibiotic. It is the one of the most important group of the antibiotic. Okay, now this antibiotic will contain a beta lactam ring. Okay, then first What are the steps of their mechanism? First, binding of the drug, that is binding of the beta-lactam antibiotics to the PBPS. Now what are the PBPS? PBPS are the penicillin binding proteins. Okay. Beta-lactam antibiotic will include the penicillin G and the examples such as the cephalosporin. Alright. This antibiotic will contain the beta-lactam ring. Okay. And that beta-lactam ring are doing this job for blocking the peptidoglycan synthesis by inhibiting the transpeptidation reaction, which is the third process or the third step in the development or in the process of synthesizing the cell wall. Okay, now coming to the PBPs, that is the penicillin binding proteins. This will contain enzyme that are responsible for cross-linking, elongation and autolysis. Okay, then this is the first step, binding to the drug. The drug will bind to the PBPS, okay, that is the penicillin binding proteins. Now they will activation of the autolytic enzymes in the cell wall. Then what will happen? Due to the activation of the autolytic enzymes, the peptidoglycan will be degraded. Okay, and as the cell wall is not getting formed only, so the lysis of the bacterial cell will be there, and therefore the bacteria will not able to do its further processes. All right, and that is how it will inhibit that particular bacteria. So this is the mode of action of the beta-lactam antibiotics. What are the main mechanism? The mechanism is it will inhibit the transpeptidation reaction, due to which it will block the peptidoglycan synthesis, that is the cell wall synthesis. All right. Along with it, it will make a loss of D-alanine residues. Okay, due to which the cell wall is not getting synthesized. As cell wall is not getting synthesized, the bacterial cell wall will lyse, and therefore bacteria will not able to do its functions. Okay, then lysis of bacterial cell, in that it can take place, the lysis of the bacterial cell can take place by both the ways, isotonic environment or the hypertonic environment. Now in the isotonic environment, the cell will swell, and therefore after swelling it will rupture, and this is the one way for lysis of bacterial cell. And in the hypertonic, that is in excess, in the hypertonic environment, the microbes will change to the protoplast or the spheroplast covered by the cell membrane, then again swell and the rupture. Okay, so these are the both the ways by which the lysis can be takes place. Now the intact beta-lactam ring structure is essential for antibacterial activity, and therefore the antibiotic that will come under the beta-lactam category or beta-lactam antibiotics are the penicillin and the cephalosporin. These are the two antibiotics that will come under this categories. The beta-lactam ring that is present, it will bind to where? Active site of transpeptidase, and therefore they will inhibit the transpeptidation reaction. Right? It will bind to the active site of the transpeptidase. The transpeptidase, the enzyme which is responsible for linkages, the cross linkages. And therefore in the normal processes of the cell wall synthesis, the natural substrate will bind to the transpeptidase, right, the D-alanine, due to which there will be the cross linkage. But now in the presence of the in the antimicrobial agents such as the beta lactam ring, then this beta lactam ring will bind to the active site of the transpeptidase enzyme which is responsible for synthesizing the cross linkages, reaction called as transpeptidation. Therefore it will inhibit the cell wall synthesis. As the cell wall synthesis are inhibiting, the further activity will not takes place, right? So this is the mode of action of this beta lactam antibiotics. Yes, so first penicillin, right? As we have discussed, penicillin is the beta lactam antibiotic. So the source, that is the extraction of this antibiotic, is from the penicillium species, which is a type of mold, right? Then it will inhibit the final cross linkages, that is the transpeptidation step, which is the last step, third step of the cell wall synthesis, and therefore they will bind to the active site of the transpeptidase, right, as I mentioned, and therefore inhibit the activity of the cell wall synthesis, that is the inhibit the activity of the transpeptidase enzyme which is responsible for carrying out the transpeptidation reaction. Then bactericidal, the penicillin antibiotic is the bactericidal, but kills only when the bacteria are actively growing. Okay. Then again there are some disadvantages. The penicillin can get deactivated in the presence of beta lactamase enzyme, right? Then you can see in the right hand side there is a structure of the penicillin antibiotic. Okay. Then the second group of cell wall inhibiting antibiotic is the cycloserine. Now we have saw the beta lactam antibiotics. Okay. Now this is the second one, that is the cycloserine. It is also a cell wall inhibitor. Now how it will inhibit? The cycloserine is relatively a simple compound. Okay. It was originally discovered as an antibiotic which is produced by the streptomyces. Although in the present it can synthesized in vitro using some chemicals also, okay, which means synthetically it can also be manufactured. Then it will inhibit the two enzymes, D-alanine synthetase and alanine racemase. Okay. Now basically this cycloserine is a structural analog of D-alanine, right, which is a fourth and fifth amino acid of the chain, and which is the D-alanine is responsible for the cross linkages of the peptidoglycan chain. Now the cycloserine will inhibit both the D-alanine racemase and the D-alanine synthetase. Now both the enzymes are responsible for synthesizing the cross linkages with the D-alanine. Okay. These two enzymes, D-alanine and the D-alanine racemase, are responsible in making, are involved in making the dipeptide chain, okay, for the cross linkages. And since the cycloserine is the structural analog of the D-alanine, right? So instead of the natural component, that is the original D-alanine, it will replace with itself, and therefore it will inhibit these two enzymes. Okay, see, if you can imagine, there is a natural process going on where the D-alanine residue will bind to this enzyme D-alanine synthetase and the D-alanine racemase. Now if there is no antibiotic present, then the peptidoglycan synthesis will take place, because D-alanine is the crucial molecule, right, structure which is important for cross linkages. This is the normal scenario. Now imagine a scenario in which the antibiotic is present called as the cycloserine. Now cycloserine is the structural analog of the D-alanine molecule. Therefore the bacteria will get fooled with this structural analog. Now instead of D-alanine natural residue, the cycloserine D-alanine will be attached to both the enzymes, and therefore it will inhibit this both enzyme, that is the D-alanine synthetase and the D-alanine racemase. Okay, therefore the synthesis will not take place. As the synthesis will not take place, the further function will not get processed. Okay, it is mostly used in the treatment of the cycloserine drug is used mostly in the treating tuberculosis. This cycloserine will enter into the bacterial cell by the active transport. Now as you know, there are the two types of transport, active and the passive transport. Due to active transport, it will reach the cell it will reach to the bacterial cell in the higher concentration. Therefore it will have higher affinity to bind to that enzymes. Okay, this is the mode of the action of the cycloserine. Cycloserine is a structural analog of the D-alanine, which will bind to the enzymes called as the D-alanine D-alanine synthetase and the alanine racemase. Therefore it will inhibit the cell wall synthesis process. It will inhibit the cross linkages, ultimately cell wall synthesis. Therefore the further function in the bacterial cell will not take place. The bacteria will lyse. Okay, the drug is used in the treating for tuberculosis. In the right hand side you can see the structure of this cycloserine. It is a structural analog of the D-alanine residue. Okay, this is the second cell wall inhibitor that we have studied. Now the next is the bacitracin. Okay, in the bacitracin, as the name says, it was discovered from the Bacillus licheniformis. Okay, now it will do its work by preventing the dephosphorylation of the phospholipid that carries the peptidoglycan subunit across the membrane. Okay, now what is the mode of action of this bacitracin? Bacitracin will prevent the dephosphorylation process of the phospholipid chain, which are responsible for carrying out the peptidoglycan subunit across the membrane. Which means the phospholipids are the molecule which are carrying the peptidoglycan molecules in the cell wall for its linkages. Now the bacitracin will prevent the dephosphorylation of the phospholipid only. That means the phospholipid will not only formed, so the further process will ultimately is not happening, right? Therefore it will inhibit the cell wall synthesis, it will block the regeneration of the lipid carrier. Okay, as I mentioned, it is responsible for carrying the peptidoglycan molecule. Okay, therefore it will block the lipid carrier and it will inhibit the cell wall synthesis. Okay, it is used for superficial skin infections. You can see the structure of the bacitracin. Okay, now specifically it will block the regeneration of the C55 lipid. Okay, lipids, these are present or these are responsible for development of that phospholipids by the dephosphorylation, and therefore the bacitracin initially will inhibit or will prevent the phosphorylation process, the process which is required for phospholipid generation, and the phospholipids are required for carrying the peptidoglycan subunits through into the cell wall, okay, into the cell membrane, right? And that is how the cell wall will get produced. Okay, the bacitracin is used in the treatment of the superficial skin infections. Okay, these are the cell wall inhibitors. We have studied the beta lactam antibiotics. In that we have saw the beta lactam mode of action, penicillin. Then we saw the cycloserine, which is also a cell wall inhibitor, and after the cycloserine we saw the bacitracin. These are the cell wall inhibitor. This antibiotic or this antibacterial agent will inhibit the synthesis of the cell wall, due to which the cell wall lysis will happen, or the cell wall is not only produced, and therefore the bacterial cell will lyse, because the cell wall is crucial for the bacterial growth and the development. And if cell wall is not only present, then the bacteria will not able to function properly. Okay, so this is how it will act as the protecting agent for us, the antimicrobial agents, right? I hope you understood this online lecture. If you have any doubt regarding this, please ask in the comment section. Thank you for watching.